Hey y'all, hey, back with another video. So I really been trying to think all week what to do a video on. Ain't nothing really of importance that I want to talk about at least been going on. But I promised myself I'm gonna try to at least show my face like once a week. So it's been damn near a week, so here I am. If there's anything that you guys ever want me to talk about, please, I don't care, just find any video, probably whatever my recent video is, and leave a comment under there if you want me to talk about something, because sometimes I really don't be knowing, and sometimes things just ain't that big of a deal that I feel like I should talk about it, but I can. Anyway, so we're in, this is what, episode, I don't know, 5 of what the fuck are we talking about? So this week, not a lot happened. It was mostly around what I'll talk about later, that little white boy, but didn't much happen this week. I'm trying to think. We could start off with Mrs. These motherfuckers ain't stopping me. Miss Horse Lady. So Miss Horse Lady is back to being Beyonce, okay? No more silver here. We're back to the blonde. And she posted pictures, of her 46th birthday. Her birthday was the 4th. She looks so damn good. She went out to Atlantic City for like some casino night that like the Reform company that Jay helps run was in. I seen that people were upset because I think like Ivanka Trump or something might have been sitting at the table with them. So people are like, hold on, what you mean? Why was Ivanka there? So this is my whole thing about like the Carters, right? I go the fuck up for Beyonce Giselle Carter as far as like an artist is concerned, as far as her music is concerned. But I'm very aware of the fact that her and Jay-Z, they're billionaires. So the people that they probably rub shoulders with, probably not the best. A lot of people probably don't get paid the best. Like there's a lot of things that has to happen. Like a lot of people got to get stepped on for you to be a billionaire. Does that make sense? Like not all the time, but a lot of time there's a lot of shady practices for you to become a billionaire. And then once you are a billionaire and you sit in this like little cloud or whatever, your surroundings and the people that have like just as much money as you, it gets real cloudy. So this is not me making excuses of like Ivanka Trump being there, but I'm just saying like that does not surprise me. They're billionaires. They are around other billionaire-like people, even if they're fucking trash. And that doesn't really bother me too much anyway, because at the end of the day, not Jay, but Beyonce did her big one. She came out and she spoke for Kamala, so we knew what side she was on. So not that big of a fucking deal to me, but yeah. Let's talk about the Young Thug interview, right? So I did watch, like I skimmed, but I watched a good majority of the interview that Young Thug did with, I cannot think of this man's name. Is it Big Facts or something like that? Something like that. Whoever that man was though, he was a great interviewer. Somebody put in the comments, it really was like a hood Dr. Phil like episode. It was very like therapeutic, and I feel like I was not surprised by anything that Thug said because I had already identified. Like, I thought it was pretty obvious, like, why he was upset with Gunna. And I think people that are not street affiliated probably more needed this interview to understand versus people who understand the streets, know how that shit work. That was not surprising to me, anything that he said that came out of his mouth. It did clarify a lot of stuff, though. It clarified a lot of things around the case. And I really like this interview because, okay, I mostly saw this interview initially off of all of the clips, though. We going to jail for the rest of our life? Whoop-de-doo. Like, saw that. Or how you want me to heal in the midst of fire. I'm in the midst of fire. Like, those clips are funny. But in context, I mean, some of them are still funny in context. But the interview as a whole, I thought was really good because I think, personally, I think it's rare to have rappers, male, black rappers, which are mostly black people, black male rappers be like this vulnerable in the interview style. Like on their music, you always hear, if you really listen, you can hear the pain. But I'm talking about like a one-on-one interview. That was being very like vulnerable, very honest. And really what we all walked away with is that, I mean, I knew this from the beginning, but I think this interview helped hit home that Thug is just really hurt. His feelings is hurt. He, like he said, when I think Big Facts was like, My thing is, why you not making no music? Why you ain't hit the studio? And he said, because I'm fucked up, bro. I don't have my twin no more. I don't have the people I used to hang out with every day anymore. I thought I came home and I was cool, but in all reality, I'm fucked up. And I'm telling you, I really appreciate like that level of honesty, because I feel like, even like Big Facts was saying in the episode, sometimes as men, I think sometimes men walk around with like, no, this is how I should feel. Like, I should feel mad. I should feel like, fuck him. But how do you actually feel? I thought that was an amazing like question. He had so many great questions. Like, his question was like, what's your very first memory? Like, therapy. That man just got into therapy, or he's somewhere in the midst of therapy. I thought it was great. Like I said, I understood everything that he said. I totally understand him being upset with Gunna. And I don't really know exactly how they come to a resolve, because Thug wants to hear Gunna out, because it's like, what can you say? And that's right. What really can you say, right? But he does want to hear like whatever he wants to hear what he got to say, although he feels like there's nothing that you could say to make me feel better. And I definitely understand that. I've been there before. I do think, if this is true, I think it's weird though that Gunna has never reached out to Thug. Again, even if you are mad, because some people are like, well, maybe he didn't want to because he feels like he's mad. Okay, it doesn't matter. You can easily send a quick text, right? It ain't even got to be on the phone. It could be a quick text. And I think Thug said that Thug's father put him and Gunna in a group chat together. And Gunna has yet to say anything. If you was terrified, that was the moment. You see his daddy ain't going to let nothing happen to you. If you see that his daddy put y'all in a group chat, that is the moment to jump in that group chat and say, look, Slime, you may be pissed off at me. You may not want to talk to me, but whenever you're willing and ready, I want us to sit down and have a conversation. You know I would never fuck you over. You know you my guy. But I understand how you could be upset given the way everything looks. But let me know, if you want to actually sit down and have a conversation. And I also love the fact that Thug brought up the Drake and Metro thing, right? Because what he's basically saying about that, which is what I said about that, it's the same thing that applies to the situation. It's really just two niggas. Well, no, it's a little bit deeper on the Thug and Gunna side. But the point is, if niggas would just like have a conversation, be grown ass men, and stop sitting to themselves and being in their feelings and actually talk, we could get a whole lot further. Yeah. So I really liked the interview. I thought it was great. Like I said, how open he was, how it feels like throughout the interview he started to come to certain realizations, like. And he even said that Mariah had told him, like, you're not mad, you're hurt. And as women, we always going to be able to point that out. Because men's first thing is always going to be anger. And as the woman, we can sit back and tell if you are really angry or if it's just hurt. And you was just mostly hurt. Then after the interview, maybe like a few days later, Thug dropped a song. He also dropped like the lyrics to it. It was like a couple of different letters. One letter was to Mariah the Scientist. What killed me about that whole thing, because I read the letters before I even knew it was a song. When he said, I'm so sorry, I'm the reason these hoes is laughing at you, I said, baby. Oh, he wants his woman back. Baby. That man wants his woman back. Because that's definitely something a woman would say. Like, you got these hoes out here laughing at me. Bitch, we was already laughing. Because Bitch, the fact that Mariah the Scientist wants to be with Young Thug is laughable within itself. But I'm going to say this. I don't feel bad for Mariah at all. And so let's talk about the whole Glorilla thing, right? So, I talked about that in my last video. But my whole thing is like, Thug been cheating on Mariah. We know that. So it's just like, girl, you know all of this shit and you still stay. And she did some interview, right? A couple months ago or something, and then I saw it was a quote where she was like, do people think I'm stupid enough to stay with some man that's just gonna play around with me? Yes, because you have. So what the fuck are we talking about? I'm gonna assume she must have broke up with him, but that's just for now. They'll get back together. But yeah, he apologized to her. He apologized. What I'm trying to understand is, why would Wham, and I'm only calling him Wham because Thug do, but why would Lil Baby be mad at Thug? Because out of everybody throughout all of this time that we've heard Young Thug run in his mouth, the only person that he's been consistently saying nice things about is Wham. That's it. Now, maybe Lil Baby don't want to talk to him because he feel like you running your mouth too much in general. That's a possibility, but he didn't say anything. The biggest thing that most of us walked away with this is that Lil Baby's a stand-up nigga and that Thug really loves Wham. Like, he loves Wham more than anybody in this fucking equation. But he wrote something to Wham apologizing. He wrote something to 21 apologizing. He wrote a verse to Drake, and the verse for Drake was pretty much just like, you know, I didn't really mean what I was saying on them calls. You know, you came to come and see me, and there was a call that dropped, or I don't know if it was a call or no, it was a voice message, like, you know, the little voice notes. Drake had sent it to somebody that he was cool with, and that person put that voice note out, and it was pretty much him talking about how he had went up to Cobb County to go see Thug, and how it was like this whole big thing, and you know, when Thug didn't even know that he was coming to see him, so when he came in, he was like, what the fuck is going on? They got me on a whole nother side of the damn jail. Bitch, I ain't even see my damn mama or nobody. Like, how the hell did you get here? Because he's Drake. Because he's Drake. Like, look at the power. Look at the influence, bitch. That nigga probably just pulled up on, like, a random 8, 9 o'clock and was like, hey. So, yeah, to me, it's Aubrey. I want to see Thug. What, Drake? You want to get him out? Get him out. Get Thug there now. That's the power. Look at the power. So he pretty much apologized to him. And yeah, that's kind of where we stand right now. I think Thug will be fine. I think that this interview was really helpful. I think that it helped smooth a lot of that other shit to the side. I do 1,010% believe, allegedly, that was the government trying to like do their big one with Thug. But I feel like that interview really helped him out with a lot of people. Again, I'm not a Thug or Gunna fucking fan. Not for real. So for me, this really meant nothing. In a grand scheme of things for me, I don't listen to Gunna's music. I somewhat listen to Thug's music. Gunna's music sounds all the exact same to me. I listened to the last album. It's just, I get like everybody has their style, so I don't want to be like mean or anything. But for me, it's just not for me. Yeah, so that's pretty much that on that. Let's talk about Drake, Iceman, right? And because we're going to talk about rollouts for a quick second. I want everybody to shut the fuck up. Because the point of the matter is, Iceman, stream 2, 3, 4, like it, don't like it, watch it, don't watch it. Whenever that light-skinned Canadian drops his album, he's one of the few people that it doesn't really matter. Once he drops his album, you're going to listen. So I'm not gonna lie to you. As somebody in marketing, I'm getting real irritated with the whole, well, their rollout, about people who don't know shit about marketing, who don't know shit about the fucking rollout, what it's supposed to look like, what's potentially happening, you know, behind the scenes with certain things. It's pissing me off, and I want everybody to shut the fuck up. It ain't been until like the last like maybe 5 to 10 years now everybody's such a big deal on a rollout. Bitch, prior to that, yes, as regular people, we know what a rollout is, but we didn't call it as such. It's just them promoting their album, and people weren't as critical about shit as they are today. I think it's stupid. I think that the way that Drake is doing his rollout, I think it's very interesting. I think it's different. I think that he is trying, you know, especially when it comes to Drake, a lot of times people don't really like give him credit until way after the fact of him changing some shit or him doing some innovative shit. But I think that the way that the world is going, which is more towards streaming and live streaming and IRL and all the other shit, I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring streaming into it. I also think that all of the different songs that we are getting, I don't know, somebody said all of those songs are going to be on Iceman. I do not believe that at all. I think some of them will be, some of them won't. I think that Drake is, number one, I think that he's testing the waters. I think he's seeing what would catch, what won't catch. I think he is also trying to do what he has said 1,010 times in all of his damn interviews, which is that I am trying to cater to all of these different audiences because I'm Drake. So I know you rapidy rap niggas would love for me to just rapidy rap, but you are not the only people that listen to me. Okay? There's some people that don't even like when I rap. Kendrick his damn self said, I like Drake with the melodies. So you got some people that like him when he sings. You got some people that like it when he raps. You like some people that like it when he do both. You got some people like it when he does the Afro beats thing. Hell, you got some people that even like when he do reggaeton. Like, it just kind of depends. So I think that's what we've been seeing. I think we've been hearing things that he's been working on over the last like few months to a year. I think he is, like I said, testing the water to see what catches and what don't. What I'm getting irritated by, this is what happens, and I said this before, this is what happens every time around the Drake rollout, is y'all swear that this man is such a flop and he's falling. Every single time Drake comes out with an album, we do this whole thing of Drake fell off, Drake's falling off, nothing is hitting. Okay, so I want to, so let's stop being hyperbolic, Joe Budden, because I'm going to get into his ass in a second. Let's stop being hyperbolic for a second, and let's actually think about and go through what Drake has done from the top of January to today, January 15th. And let's talk about the success within and the not success in some of those, right? I'm actually going to pull up my phone. So I guess we can start off with the Sexy Songs for You album, because that dropped Valentine's Day. I mean, do we really got to go much further? Because when that album came out, initially everybody said, terrible, this is not R&B, this is not for me. Give it about 2 weeks later, I cannot turn this album off. This album is everything, because it is. So we have the Sexy Songs for You, the entire album, because the entire album fucking goes. But let's specifically pick out some songs. Nokia, which was pretty much a #1 hit. Give Me a Hug, which was a solid, not a hit, but a solid record. Somebody Loves Me. That was pretty much the song of the summer. So that's 3 fucking records, if I just want to point them out individually, that has worked for him since February. Plus, if we just include the whole body of work that whole album went. Bitch, Deeper? Shout out to Party. That's my shit. Deeper fucking goes. So that whole album goes. That comes out in February, right? So obviously you're going to let that live for a little bit because it's a new album. Drake didn't put out, the next little snippet that Drake put out was What Did I Miss? And I want to make sure that I'm right when I say what date that came out. What did I miss? Let me see something, y'all. What did I miss? I think it came out, I'm going to say it came out in like April or May. Hold on, y'all. I do this every time. What time did that come out? What did I miss? July 4th. Okay, so from February, so you had March, April, May, June, July. That's 5 months damn near for that album to kind of percolate, which it did. Mind you, like I said, all of those songs that I said pretty much came off of that. Hell, white people love that Die Trying song. So you let the album rock for about 4 months. Then you dropped, then you did the Iceman episode 3. And then within that, I think it's like 2 to 3 songs that came out. And out of like those 2 to 3 songs, What Did I Miss is the one that he like dropped. And that goes. And that was July 4th. We're only in fucking September. Then he did another Iceman episode where he had the Central C song or whatever, which a lot of people heard it and like, but this is my thing. Again, back to what I said about demographics. That song was not for y'all. And like, this is my problem with like Americans, and this is said across the world, Americans are so fucking like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like self-absorbed. And y'all think everything is supposed to be for y'all. And when it's not, y'all don't just go, oh, okay, well, that's not for me. Y'all call it trash if it's not for y'all. I do not think that Drake made that song with Central C with anybody in the United States in mind, especially when his ass is overseas touring. He's been touring over there in Europe overseas for like, since Sexy Songs for You have came out. I think he was just in Paris. He just did like 2 to 3 nights in Paris. He's been in Amsterdam. He's been everywhere over there. So I don't think that song was meant for here. And I've seen people from across the pond say that song with Central C and Drake is on the radio all the time because, again, that's for that demographic. Everything ain't meant for us. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And then he just dropped Iceman episode 3, which had like a few songs in it. It had some song with, I think it's called Doghouse. It's Yeet Which, see, so this is a great example, right? When I saw that everybody kept putting in the chat, like for the Ice Man 3 episode, that he was supposed to have a song with Yeet or Playboy Cardi, I said, well, whatever song that is, that ain't for me. I've never heard a Yeet song a day in my life, but I'm understanding of the fact that it's similar to Playboy Cardi, and that's not for me. So when he went up on stage or whatever, you know, during the club part, and he saw Yeet and they started the song, I thought the beat was cool, but then when they actually released the song, I listened and I said, yeah, it's not for me, because I don't think I'm the demo for that song. That demographic is for that song is for the demographic of people that like Yeet, that like that fucking sound, that like that whole Playboy Cardi shit. And I saw the people in the chat when the song was playing, people that are into him or into Yeet like that song. I think we need to stop thinking that everything this nigga does is just for you. It's a lot of people that he has to pretty much satisfy. So why is it that y'all niggas have to like every single song that Drake puts out? Drake puts out way too much music for every single song, even if the songs are amazing. He puts out too much music for every single song to touch you personally and for you to feel like you like it. I don't like every single song that Drake has put out, you know, within this rollout, as y'all like to call it. But it's not like there hasn't been anything there that's good. What are we talking about? The other song that he did not put out, there was actually another song in there. It was called Stuck. And it was a snippet, sounded super fire. And then there was another song that came out, well, not came out, but it was a leak, and it's called The Tower. Going the fuck off. Again, how about we just wait till the album comes out before we say that somebody's a flop? And I'm so tired. We're going to roll right into Joe Budden because I'm so sick of his ass. Y'all know I like Joe, but I hate Joe at the same time. That man pisses me off. Because Joe said, I seen some clip, because again, I'm not on the Patreon no more. I saw a clip where Joe was like, Drake is the first rap, like, I've never seen somebody who could rap as well as Drake not rap as well. What the But you're going to say, now mind you, I want y'all to clock this. Clock the fact that he's saying that, I think that was in September, right? Or August, let's just say September, October. September, August. When that album drops, best to believe, Joe will take one of them damn records where I'm pretty sure Drake's going to be rapping his ass off and take 45 minutes to break it down and talk about how he's such a genius. The same thing he did with Middle of the Ocean. Like, bro, I don't even listen to Joe. Shut the fuck up. Nobody even cares. Let's move on to Joe for a second because that's a good transition into Cardi. Speaking of rollouts. You know, I've already done a video on Cardi and Joe. I've done this before. I'm going to address it the fuck again. I think it's hilarious. Cardi went off on Joe. Not on him, but like she was in the spaces and she was just going the fuck off like a week and a half ago because she was pretty much saying like, I'm so tired of this man. Every time I do something, you got some negative shit to say. And there's all these women around here doing all this shit, but you only want to talk about me in a negative light. I cried when she said, because what she was mostly mad about is like, why do y'all keep pontificating? She ain't saying it, that's my word. Why do y'all keep pontificating over her vagina? That was her issue. She's like, why are you so concerned about my pussy, about who I'm fucking, about who could be, or if I'm pregnant, if I'm not pregnant, who the father of my child is? Did you not just see that girl throw a damn Sharpie the minute she walked out of an assault case at a damn reporter because they want to ask her who the father of her child is? That's some what? Stop asking people that. Stop that shit. It's fucking annoying. So she was like, keep my pussy out of your mouth. Like, say whatever you want to say about the music, but keep my pussy out of your mouth. It's none of your fucking business who I'm fucking, why I'm fucking. And at the end of it, she was like, and you need to keep it cute because at the end of the day, I could tell you who be busting all over your bitch's chest, but I don't say nothing. I said, oh, not my bitch Sade catching the stray. Not my bitch. Cardi shot a whole nuclear bomb at Joe and Sade just got evaporated in the middle of it. I said, damn, not Sade. Not Cardi got the tea on Sade. I thought that shit killed me. She said, bitch, you better be quiet before I tell you who busting all over your bitch's chest. I said, oh, not Sade. Not Sade. But Joe goes on to do his pod or whatever. I think whatever this last one was. And I put this in the comments on the JBT community and in the comments, and people were agreeing with me. They said, because I'm going to be clear, Ice is the one who started off by saying that Cardi's rollout has been quiet because I guess they expected that she would drop another single after Imaginary Players. And they're like, well, she hasn't dropped another one and maybe she could, but it just doesn't seem like she's going to. And Ice was like, yeah, her rollout has been super, super quiet. And Joe was like, yeah, I just don't hear really much about it. And this is my whole thing. I got a lot of things about that. A lot of feelings, a lot of comments. Number one, let's talk about Imaginary Players as a single by Cardi, right? I think what's throwing y'all off and maybe other people off is the fact that it wasn't, I think, what people would typically expect from Cardi. So people expect a banger, like a throwing ass club, strip club, anthem type shit. Similar to Outside, like, you know, like that kind of beat and that kind of banging shit that you're trying to, you know, hear when you outside. But that's not what Imaginary Players is. So I want to be very clear, and I said this online. When I go, yesterday, I think I went outside like the day before yesterday. When I went outside, I heard Imaginary Players at least 3 times when I went to like 3 different places. As far as like me getting out to like, I went to the alcohol store. When I got out my car, when I left out of the alcohol store, there was a white girl playing that song. A black girl playing it out of her car. When I went to go to the hair store, there was another black girl I saw playing it out of her car. And there was another white girl that I heard. Like, the song is being played. I just don't think that because it's not like the type of music that Cardi normally makes as far as a single is concerned, I think that's why y'all think it's a flop. But shout out to Ish. Ish might be old, but Ish be on it with some things. Ish said, I think in one of the last pods, he was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, I see the girls online, I see the girls on TikTok, I see them on Instagram. And Joe's thing is like, oh, well, that's label games. That's not the same thing. Okay, well, this is, again, back to the whole marketing thing. This is what pisses me off about Joe and his pod as a whole, except maybe like Ish, because Ish is the only one who doesn't say this. On one hand, right, y'all are saying that Cardi won't fail because Atlantic is going to make sure that she doesn't fail. One hand, y'all saying that. But on another hand, you also said this last pod that it seems like Atlantic don't believe in her, that they're not backing her, which is why she has to go out and do all of these little promotions that she's doing. I'm like, bro, which one is it? Is Atlantic backing her or are they not? Like, please pick a side on which side you stand on with that. Secondly, I didn't realize, and I said this in my comments, like I said on Twitter in the thing, I said either A, Joe and them are genuinely aging out of like the demo because they are like 45. Not that that's super old, but either A, they are genuinely like aging out of the demographic like that she would be hitting, which I'm pretty sure they are, but that, or B, it's just genuine hate. It's no in between. And everybody that I posted that said, most of them, everybody was like, they're just old. Everybody underneath my post said, nah, they just old. Because they said that Cardi's rollout has been quiet. That just lets me know, okay, so what that means to me is that y'all feed or whatever, like whatever y'all algorithm is, it ain't algorithming correctly, I guess, for y'all. Because I've seen nothing but Cardi B outside. What the fuck are we talking? That shit blew me. Cardi has been quiet. The last 2 weeks, it's been nothing but Cardi promoting this album. Where the fuck have y'all been? Like, for example, they talked about how Charlie Wilson, right, had like this R&B cookout concert or whatever. I personally never even heard of that. But again, I think that's because that's outside of my demo. So why would I know anything about that? But they would, because that would fit their demographic. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm like, that literally does not make sense. Cardi has done at least, like, I think she did that interview with Billboard or whatever, which they did the video and the actual print for it. That was cute. She won that little award at the Billboard, like Trailblazers. Then she, all of her little, like, you know, videos and promotion that she's been doing in between. Now, let's talk about that for a second. Joe, this is what I'm saying. Like, you have to just be old because the joke is going right over your head. The fact that he sat there and said, yeah, I mean, I see the fact that, you know, she did her little promotion where she's out there on the street or whatever, or, you know, she's promoting her stuff on the side of the sidewalk. But all that does to me is show me that she really has to be out here promoting and that that Atlantic is not pushing her. Are you not? The joke is going over your head. And I saw somebody screenshot when Atlantic had reposted Cardi, like promoting her album, and said, yes, please help her. And then Joe reposted that and said, no, this is crazy. Are you really being that slow that you don't get that joke is going over your head? You're one of the main reasons for this joke, so maybe that's why it's going over your head. Maybe that's why. And all of these promotions, these little videos, TikToks, whatever that Cardi's doing, Cardi will start off by saying, like one of them, she started off and she was like, well, because Imaginary Players has flopped so badly, I have just got my new budget from Atlantic, and it is, and she was like, $50. So because of that, you are slow if you don't get that she's poking fun at specifically like you and people that's like you. That's the point. I love her rollout because I feel like the Am I the Drama, the name is perfect, and everything that she's doing to me, it's perfect. I'm sorry. The whole pregnancy thing, we still don't know if she's pregnant. But the fact that she's even playing around and poking at that, she's poking at that because y'all the ones who came out of nowhere before she was even like really, before we even seen her like in those court pictures or whatever. The internet was the one like, you know, talking about whether or not she was pregnant. So you know what? Y'all think I'm pregnant? We're going to poke in on that. Let's lean in on that. Y'all keep saying that I'm a flop and that none of my singles are going and that Atlantic is not backing me and that they don't want to give me any money. So fine. We're going to run with that narrative and I'm going to do everything on my own. I'm going to hit the streets on my own. I'm going to do real street work, real street team work, hit the ground running, do these meet and greets because y'all, according to y'all, I have no budget. So you want to know what? Y'all right. Let me actually hit the streets. What about that? Are you not getting that that's part of her marketing plan? That's what I'm saying back again about people not being in marketing and not understanding a rollout, not understanding the genius. Now, a lot of people do get it. Thank you. Y'all are fucking smart. But for the people that don't, if y'all really think that Atlantic would repost her and say, yes, please help, and them not understand that that's part of the marketing plan, y'all are dumb. Joe, you're dumb. You're dumb or you're out of touch. One or the other. There is no in between. Are y'all serious? And I don't understand how, and this has been pointed out too, how is it that y'all will sit up there and praise the fuck out of the clips in their rollout? So their rollout was amazing, but Cardi's is what? Is weak and is desperate? How, Sway? I'm going to tell you to me why I actually prefer Cardi's fucking rollout. The clips to me, I think so far everybody, and even online people are saying that the clips and Cardi had the best rollout so far of the year. But let me be very clear. The reason why people really like the clips rollout is because it reminds them of the traditional rollout from back in the day. Meaning when you, in the early 90s, in the early 2000s, when you were promoting an album, how you were seen everywhere. Like there was people that's not even within like their demographic that they went to go sit with as far as like podcasts. But be very clear, all the clips, and I'm not trying to take anything away, but what I'm saying is that their rollout was just them sitting with everybody, going to every podcast, every radio, every tiny desk. That's what their marketing plan was, to be seen everywhere. And somehow they get all the praise in the world, mind you, for just simply going to podcasts, to radio stations and stuff that are already established and sitting there and having conversations. They have the best rollout of the year. But Cardi actually deciding to not take the traditional forms of media and mediums to promote her album and actually doing it creatively, where she's showing her personality, where she's actually showing that she gives a fuck about the music, where she's actually communicating and touching the fucking people. That's cheap. How? Or not cheap, but like that's wrong somehow. I actually prefer that because to me, that's at least creative. That's to me the difference between the clips and the Cardi's rollout. Clips really just did a traditional rollout that we just don't do no more. The traditional rollout that comes from the 90s and 2000s that we just don't see today. That's why they stood out. Cardi's rollout is not traditional at all. It actually fits for today's time. It fits for her personality. It fits for her type of music. It fits for her demo. What the fuck are we talking about? I think Cardi could easily, you think that Cardi could not easily just hit the mat running and go to all of these different podcasts and all of these different radio stations and all of these different times. You think that's not an option for her? She could easily do that. But I like the fact that for her second album that she's been away for fucking 7 years, that she's actually doing something more creative in her actual rollout versus because to be quite honest, I like the clips, but I'm only going to watch but so many fucking times the clips sit down and talk to people. There's only but so many things that you can ask them. There's only but so many ways that they can explain themselves. versus you picking maybe one or two, maybe even three people at the most to sit down and do an interview with, and then everything else you're pushing on your own. And on top of that, let's just say that that's true, that they don't want to give her the money, right? Let's just say that Atlantic don't want to give her the money. Why would she not be praised then for at least getting up there and getting it out on her own versus her sitting on her ass like a lot of other people do and expecting the marketing department, and I'm getting mad because I'm in the marketing department, and there's a lot of things that you niggas could be doing on your own that y'all not doing because y'all waiting for us to do it when we have about 30 other freaking clients that we have to deal with. I appreciate Cardi from a straight marketing standpoint of her getting up off her ass. Let's just say, let's go with Joe's theory that they didn't want to give her anything, that Atlantic said your marketing budget is cut. Fuck it, I'll hit the streets my damn self. I at least appreciate that. And you ain't even giving her the credit for at least getting up and getting it on her own versus her sitting on her ass and then her making it seem like Atlantic is the reason why her shit didn't sell. And thirdly, back to the whole Nicki and Cardi thing. My whole thing is, like I said, it's too much picking and fucking choosing. Because he also sat there and said, oh, she's playing the bundles game, No, let's be very clear. Cardi, she is selling some bundles, but what she's selling right now is vinyls. And I don't understand, why is she not getting praised for that? Because what Cardi is doing right now, she's not even pushing for people to stream her album. She's pushing for people to buy vinyls. Now, yes, there's about 4 different covers, but at the end of the day, she's pushing physical CDs. Physical music. And I don't even understand how you can shit on somebody for pushing physical merch. Vinyls. She's not saying, oh, hey, please press play. She did, say that, but it's more so, this is my vinyl. Here is a physical copy of something, buy it, which is so important because we've lost that in today's age. But I want to say back to the Nicki thing. You didn't say shit about Nicki when she did her bundles with this last album. You didn't say a damn thing. So back to what Cardi said, again, I think that ever since, and I don't know what type of hold this pink lady have on y'all, but the minute that Nicki and Joe became like real cool, I say nothing negative about Nicki, or if there is something negative about Nicki, either I don't say it at all or I bullshit and I lie. But when it comes to the rest of the field, I'm gonna drag the fuck out of them. Like I said, before Nicki dropped Pink Friday or Pink Print 2, whatever the fuck Pink Friday 2, every single that she was dropping was not hitting. And Joseph did not get his ass on that podcast and talk about how everything that Nicki was doing was fucking flopping. So like Cardi said, you pick and you fucking choose. I'm so annoyed because, bro, her rollout is immaculate. It's immaculate. It's so good. It's so good. You're old. Just sit in the fact that you're fucking old and you don't get it. That's why you like the clips, but you don't like her rollout. Shut up. And like I said, about this is my thing. Cardi could not she's one of those few people kind of like Drake where she don't gotta put out a banging ass single for people to listen to her album. She's been gone long enough, but she's been in our face long enough that when she drops that album, people are going to listen. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. And lastly, that little white boy died or whatever, I can't even say it over here. That little white boy that was on the campus and he got shot, I don't care. I do not care. And I'm tired of y'all going around on Twitter and everywhere else and trying to tell people to care. We don't have to care. He would not care for us. We don't have to care for him. Now, me personally, I'm not jumping up and down about somebody dying because I don't believe in that. Because I believe that the energy you put out in the world will come back to you. Right? Right, Mr. CK? Right, Mr. CK? And I saw his wife, bitch, seen. As soon as the camera cut off, she said, and seen. Ooh. The Emmys was yesterday. Why was she not nominated for Emmy? Why was she not nominated for at least a Razzie at the damn bare minimum? Because the way that you really gave old school Southern, like white woman tears. Like, sister, you was really putting on. But I'm going to say this like this. I would say that the only people I'm sad for is his kids, but I found out that he has a daughter, and now I actually don't feel bad. I'm actually glad for her, because let that man would have stayed alive. What you think he would have? What you think that little girl would have needed so much therapy behind how trash her father would have raised her. Or she would have been a little trash white girl that would have walked around the same way that her damn mama do. So no, I would say I'm sad for his children, but no, thank God so that he did not lead y'all and indoctrinate y'all in a way that y'all don't need to be. Your mama, trust me, this is going to be cute for a good 5 minutes, and then we'll move on. They'll move on. They will move on. I don't care about nothing else y'all got going on. This is a cute little talking point for the other side, or for whatever side you deem it to be. They'll hold on to it for, I give it another week or so. Give another week or so, and then we'll be moving on to the next thing. I don't care. Don't care. Watch the shit that comes out of your mouth. Hell, we love Tupac down, and we even say all the time that Tupac kind of spoke his death. He spoke his death pretty much, because when you constantly talk about dying all the time, the universe is eventually going to catch up with you. Same thing with Biggie. Not trying to be funny. A lot of people say that those two men in particular spoke their death so much that them dying, as sad as it was, it's like you got to be careful with the shit that come out of your mouth. So like, he said empathy does not exist. It's a made up term. So why would I have said empathy? That makes no sense for me. Yeah, I don't care about that. I think that's all that I got, y'all. But y'all got in the comments. Tell me what y'all think about. Bye.